Crazy.
What else? This is my teacher, the first teacher I had. He came from the opposite of me. It's quite funny. He was training Wing Chun for like many years, and then he went into breathing techniques.
But you started out in the breathing, and then you did.
Yeah, and then I came more into like the martial arts. But then I went back to breathing. For me, I always felt like that is like. Of course, if you want to fight, you cannot just then breathe someone in the face. But for like happiness and for your life, it's amazing. It just changes. It's like so little, and it makes like. It's just so big change you can see in people. Like people who are like smoking heroin, people who are doing like crazy drugs for so many years, and then they just try like 5 or 6 days, and then they just change their like path, completely change of path. It's incredible.
They found like a positive outlet for something inside of them that like the only way they had been able to experience that part of their soul was like to do heroin or smoke crack.
That's usually what we say, right? Like the whole reason people get addicted is because they search, like everyone is searching in the whole world, everybody is searching for happiness, right? We all have this search for happiness.
Yeah.
And then we find, okay, we cannot get the happiness in food, we cannot get the happiness in the school, we cannot get the happiness at home from TV, and then we start searching for other sources of happiness, and then people fall into that trap of taking drugs, right? It like gives this like, come on, I'll make you happy, do me, and then you do it, and it might make you feel happy in the time you do it, but then afterwards there's always the
crash,
the downfall, right?
Definitely,
which is always intense, especially with like MDMA and all of these things. Very heavy downfalls.
Yeah. It's it's like I think you were speaking about it at the breathing, like the first breathing seminar. You like 2 different types of pleasures,
Right.
I don't remember what you call it, but I mean it's the same thing.
It is
like
the 2 kind of pleasures. I do say it like that. One is like short-term pleasure, and then there's long-term pain. So you do something that makes you happy instantly, and then it gives a lot of pain afterwards, right? Either it gives pain directly, or then if you have to leave the habit, then it brings a lot of pain. And the other one is the opposite, right? It's like small time discomfort, but it brings long-term pleasure.
Yeah, and stability also.
Yes, stability. That's what training is, right?
Yeah.
It hurts like shit, especially the first couple of months. You have to do push-ups and pull-ups, and you're like, it sucks.
Yeah.
But then after some time, it feels great, right?
And we tend to like constantly chase the. Because we see like the results, so we want the results, but we're always looking for the shortcut to get there, and it's easy to I mean, I guess that's what like advertising psychology is all about, just tell you that there's an easy way.
Yeah, take this pill.
Yeah.
You're gonna do 1,000 push-ups in a day. And
you will get the results, like the visual results.
Right.
But then the visual results are never the like greatest benefit of doing something,
That is like such a secondary thing. That's why for me it has been a little bit difficult, sometimes with social media and stuff, because it's like, okay, what do I show people, I cannot show them the breath. I know the power of the breath, but there's not really anything to see, But when people experience it, like you experienced it, like a lot of people have experienced it, then people are like, whoa, this is crazy,
Yeah.
But it's difficult to show it because there is nothing to see. It is all internal stuff.
Yeah.
But the benefits you get from it is like.
So we can't like understand it with our eyes and the spoken words. We have to experience
you have
it,
to try,
so
right?
And all that we like so much of the information we take in are so focused on word and vision. So like. It doesn't. You can't really experience it on Instagram.
No.
But Instagram is the way we communicate. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And there is just a lot of fake stuff. There's nothing bad. Everything has its time and everything has its place. But there is just so many things, and I feel they are saying that they are one thing, like you say. They are showing like, if you do this, you'll get this and this, but it's not true. And that's really sad to see this evolvement of, you can say, social media, right? Because there is no shortcut. Of course, there's no shortcut. If there was a shortcut, someone would have found it 1,000 years ago, and everyone would have been following it.
Yeah.
You have to train. You have to put in the work, right?
Yeah.
Like in Kung Fu, we said this thing is like you have to put sweat, blood. That's it. Those two things, right? Time, of course.
Yeah.
With time, you bring sweat and you have blood.
Yeah.
It's like time and effort, right?
Yeah.
If you don't put these two things, then you cannot be good at Kung Fu. You cannot be good at anything. You have to put in time, right?
And you have to put in time with intent as
yeah,
well.
intention,
you know,
exactly.
like
It's not just lifting the weight or just like punching a bag. It's like focusing. How am I punching it? Am I doing it in the right direction?
Yeah.
You know everything about that.
Becoming one with the bag, you know. Not,
exactly.
Yeah, that's when you get better. You know?
Yeah, else it's just playing around, which is also fine. There's nothing wrong in just like with yoga. There's nothing wrong in stretching the body. There's nothing wrong with having a great ass or great abs or nothing wrong.
It's awesome, man.
It's perfect, beautiful. Have it, please.
Yeah.
Please be my guest.
The world is better with it.
The more great butts there is, the better the world is.
Yeah. But having a great butt is not gonna bring you happiness.
Exactly. Saying that having a great butt will make you enlightened or will make you peaceful, all of that stuff is just nonsense. And I hope, you know, like people, they will double check the sources and use their common sense, you know.
And it's also like all of these things, like how to be successful, how to feel good. Like we're always searching for someone to tell us how to do it, but deep inside we already know it, you know.
I'll teach you how to make $5,000 really easy. You just have to give me $5,000 and I'll tell you afterwards.
And then you get some other two guys to give you $5,000. Yeah.
That's the way. It's super easy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But there are no shortcuts.
No. Shortcuts to success. But it's funny because like we were just talking in the car before we were recording, like about our parents, right? They have this like you have to work hard every day, and part of it is true, and then there is the other side where it's like, okay, but you also, like you said, you have to work with intention and also conscious, you know. Maybe you can train 2 hours very focused, you can get more out of a training than someone training 8 hours unfocused, right? So it's also putting in the intention, like you say, and the effort in the right time and the right place. And I think the world is changing more and more for this, you know. People don't want to have these crazy jobs anymore where they're working like 100 hours every week, and people are waking up more and more for sure. Yeah,
and I think like we were talking about earlier in the gallery, that the world is becoming like it's also accessible, so there are like hybrids are everywhere, you know.
Yes,
like,
definitely.
Like you're not,
which is beautiful.
You're not a psychologist. You're a psychologist and a business, like with a business degree, and you know, etc., who does CrossFit 5 times a week, and so like we have so many things like that we do. It's not only one thing anymore.
Exactly. I was just checking out what Eva was doing.
Yeah, man, he had a good fight yesterday.
I think it was just before his fight. They're just checking it out. He's coming in. Oh. Yeah, that's the thing, you know. I have so many friends who could have big talents in so many things, but if you don't want to put in the time, then there's no one who can help you, you know. There's no one who can fix you. There's no one who can do anything for you. It's all coming down to your own effort. And then you can listen to people, you can take advice from people, you can learn from people, but people can never make you do it. Like, people are always making fun with me, you know, because I'm usually one of these guys who is like, I always eat like whatever I want to eat. I work out whenever I want to work out, and I don't have this, like, I don't have a big need to have a six-pack or a big need to have big arms. But I also don't go around speaking about it, you know, like where some people, they are always complaining, right? Like, oh, I wish I was looking like this. Okay, come on, it's simple. I mean, it's not rocket science.
You know what you have to
exactly.
do.
If you want to have nice arms, do push-ups, lift weights, go running, you know, do something, you know.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And it's like that with everything. Also with the breathing, it's like, if you want to control your emotions, just learn how to breathe. That's simple. You learn the techniques, like, anyone who has been on this course in Iceland, the 3 or 4 days programs I've done here, anyone can say it. It's like so simple, but it's not just doing it 4 days, it's doing it over time, consistency, practice, continue to do it, learn, understand it.
Yeah.
Some people, they do something and they think like after 2 or 3 times, I understand it now. But of course you don't understand it.
You don't.
No.
You haven't created a habit.
Exactly.
And you haven't done the boring part.
No, because there is a boring part, a very boring part, and it can be long time.
Oh, it's so hard. Like you want to quit. You try to find every excuse.
Exactly, and you find it sometimes also.
Yeah. It's so much easier to just go and buy a pizza and watch 6 hours of
exactly
movies or
some
whatever,
movie just lying there, turn your brain off.
Yeah.
I always speak about it with meditation. There is like in the beginning when you practice, usually people, they have like great results and they feel like at ease and at peace with everything.
Yeah.
And then there comes like the wall where they don't feel anything, and you just have to sit there, for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then can you go through it? It's not all people that can go through it. I mean, everyone could go through it, but it's not all people who do go through it, just like you say with training, right?
Yeah. And your leg starts to hurt, or your knee brings you pain, or whatever. You're like, I can't do it.
If you want to be the champ, then you have to train.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. I'm learning.
Right. We are all learning.
Yeah.
But for sure, it's like very simple. I mean, you have to, consistency is the most important part. Being consistent. Even if it means, okay, I train every second day. Okay, fine. But then you keep on training every second day. Or every third day, but you continue to have that like, okay, I continue to train. Bruce Lee said something pretty cool, he was like, it's not about adding too many things, it's more about what can you take out of your lifestyle, like you say with movies. If okay, I watch 5 hours of Netflix every day, okay, take 3 hours out, see what happens. Just see what happens if you take that out. What is you going to be used for those 3 hours, right?
Definitely. And it's like, I think some similar quote that I heard, I think it was Steve Jobs, but it might have been someone else, that
anyway, people don't know who said anything anymore.
Yeah, I said it.
Meme,
I said it.
You said it. Exactly. We're gonna make a new quote.
And just talking about that, becoming good at something is not about it's about saying no to other things as well.
Of course.
Good ideas. Like you have to say no to a million good ideas and like focus your energy on the one that you.
That has been my biggest obstacle. That specific one, because I had so many talents and skills.
Yeah.
And when I realized I had all of these things, I was like, okay, maybe I could go and sell bitcoins. Maybe I can do this, and then like spreading out your energy everywhere, and then nothing is really manifested. Yeah. It was only when I said like, okay, now I'm just gonna focus on teaching people. Breathing, done. Then everything opened, like bam, the doors was open, right? People are coming, people are listening, you're studying more into that field. Of course you can still have interest in all this other stuff, but you have to pick.
You have to commit.
It has to be a commitment, exactly.
Yeah, I'm shit scared of commitments. Like
I'm only scared of it if it's in relationships. I'm not down with those commitments. I'm still afraid of that.
Yeah, you don't. It feels like.
Are you single?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Danish accent.
Yeah, vi skal single, man.
Yeah, I haven't really. It's the same. Like these commitments. Like I don't like to make promises I can't keep. I know I can't keep, and I know that I'm not. I don't see myself going into that kind of relationship, and so I'm having and I don't want to be lying to someone that I am,
No.
So
I think the old way of looking at relationships is also coming more and more out of the picture, This whole image of like the prince on the white horse and the woman staying at home, and it's like, come on, man, it's boring now, We just find people who have not even in love relationship, but in general, we just find people who have passion, who has interest, who makes you feel happy. That's it.
Yeah.
If someone makes you feel happy, hang out with them.
And don't do it on the level of like you know, I need a release.
No.
You know what I mean?
And you're lost.
Yeah.
That's an instant loss. That's this back to this two kind of pleasures, right?
Yeah.
It's like short-term pleasure,
Yeah.
but then it's gonna bring you headache for life.
Yeah.
All people can sign to that, guys and girls, I'm sure.
I think so. And it's like those kinds of relationships. They're so. I feel like they're, you know, they're just because we go into them because we're scared to be alone. You know.
Yeah.
It's like that's a big fear. It's just being alone, you know. So you like cling on to.
Hold on to people. The fear of
anyone,
loss.
Yeah, and you're not clinging onto them like out of love, but out of fear.
Exactly, out of need.
And it creates such like toxic relationships.
Yeah, very toxic.
And I think that's what I don't want, you know.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So
and also, if you're someone like you who are training seriously, you know, it's also we have to put our passion first. Yeah. If we want to, we don't have to, but some of us are doing it.
Yeah. It's like, and you need to find people who are like understand it and want to see you go further into that your calling, you know. Exactly. Not like, okay, I need to get Nicolai to quit this breathing shit because I need some company.
So he can
watching
hang out
Netflix.
With me. Why don't you watch Netflix?
Yeah.
I had an ex-girlfriend like that. Yeah. Come on, let's watch a movie. And I was like, I don't want to watch a movie. I'm like, I'm watching myself, girl. I have plenty of stuff going on inside. I don't have to watch a movie.
Yeah.
I was also in my more extreme period of like hard training. But you have to go through that. Have to.
Yeah. And deep inside, you know which like choice is the right one. You know?
Of course, everyone knows. There's always two voices, right? One is like your ego, and the one is like the self, right? The self is always saying the right choice. The ego is always like, oh no, let's just do this instead. Whatever, don't have to do this. Let's just be lazy. Let's just do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't concern me. But in the end, you know, we just have this one lifetime. You know, we have to use it for something that makes us happy. I know for myself for sure, I don't want to die like or lie in my bed, you know, when I'm like 90 and then think, fuck, I wish I had done all of this stuff. I'd rather have the feeling like, okay, I did anything, you know, I wanted to do, I did it. And I did it 100% and I did it to my best, you know, like what I could do. And then go out like that. The time is coming for everybody.
Yeah, it's, we have a saying, are you familiar with the Hávamál?
No.
It's like these old lyrics or scriptures from, I don't know, 2,000 years ago. Okay. Probably, maybe older, might be older. Or they were written down at that time. I don't remember the specific days, but it's like pretty much it's like and they still exist, you know, in the old scriptures.
Yeah.
They still have the books and. This is one part of the books, and it's kind of like a self-help book, or it's like there are rules to life, you know, like, or not rules, but like foundations. And one of them goes like, Ósnjallu maður hyggst mun ei lifa ef hann við víg varast, en elli gefur honum engin frið þótt honum geirar gefi. And it means like that the stupid man or the foolish man, he thinks that he will live forever.
Right.
If he avoids death, but age but time will not leave him alone, even though the spears of his enemies will. So even if you dodge, you know, life, if you dodge the spears, you never upset no one, you never go for what you want, you never live your life. And everyone, like, you're Mr. Nice Guy, and everyone likes you. You still die in the end. So
of course.
So
you might as well do something that makes sense to you.
Dance while you can.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's why I let my hair grow out. I saw you cut your hair off.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it for the next couple of years.
Yeah, do it. It looks good. I sometimes see it and I think, fuck.
Good. Yes. I saw the old pictures of you. I was like, wow, he had long hair like me.
Very majestic, like a lion, you know, with a mane. It's
there is something in the hair.
Yeah, it's alive.
Girls, don't cut your hair off.
Yeah, don't.
Except if it's under the arms.
Don't.
It's very popular in Iceland, this hair under the arms.
Yeah.
Among the girls.
Many girls are also shaving their heads now.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like many of them are doing like to show It's like for a girl to shave her head off, it's like a statement, you know. It's like a strong, like something. It's not usual, you know. So
my sister really wanted to do it, and she was like saying to everyone like, I'm gonna cut all my hair off, and then like the whole family was like, okay, that's great. And then she didn't want to do it after that. She was like, okay, whatever. Yeah. Because I didn't care, you know. I don't care. Yeah. Whatever, you cut your hair off, who cares? Yeah. Inside they're still the same person.
Yeah, and it's probably like the biggest victory for themselves, you know, because they should be doing it for themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
if it's for themselves, it's great.
Yeah.
But that's just anything we do in life, right? If it's for ourselves, do it.
Yeah.
Blonde hair, blue hair, pink hair, no hair, great. Yeah. But if it's for someone else, it's like use this.
Yeah, to gain what's it called, like confirmation or from
being
other
confirmed.
People. Yeah. It's
anyway, people have opinions, like we said, right?
Yeah.
They always have opinions about us.
They're gonna. So it's probably like a good investment of time to understand when you do it yourself, to like not do something to please others, so that you can like realize when you're doing it and make the decision that you really want, you know.
A lot of the people in the yoga environment, they are really, you know, feeling like, because you know, I often swear, you know, I use swear words, and also when I teach, you know, and a lot of people, they didn't like that, and some people are telling me, you know, like, this is not what a yogi is supposed to do, and now I was just thinking, what? I don't care, you know, this is who I am, you know, this is me. Yeah. And I'm, you know, like, sure, part of me is a yogi, and I've been practicing more than most yoga teachers in the world, also of like the deeper aspects of the yoga philosophy. But I'm still also Nicolai, you know. Myself, and I don't want to change that.
Are you a yogi because that's your ego? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
what is a yogi?
That's
the next question.
Like,
also,
are you putting yogis in boxes and saying what they can and can't do? You know,
exactly.
Like it wasn't the original part was probably to escape that, you know,
exactly.
or like go away from it, you
exactly.
know.
Go out of the boxes.
But it also always goes in circles, you know. It's like with CrossFit,
right?
Which is like, I love CrossFit. I love to follow it. Like, it's amazing what these people do, you know.
Yeah,
like
crazy
athletes, like these
superhumans.
Yeah. You walk in there and you try to do what they're doing, and you just. You do 30% and you lay on the floor like, done, finished. It's crazy what they do, but one thing with it is that it started as like a CrossFit. It was like supposed to be everything, you know. It was
a mixture of all.
It was escaping the boundaries and boxes that powerlifting or Olympic weightlifting or long distance runners or swimmers, like everyone is putting them in these boxes and making all these sports and movement patterns like into it becomes stale and stagnant. But so it starts out, I believe, as a way to escape that and, you know, do everything, and then with time, you know, it becomes the CrossFit also becomes formulated and, you know, regulated and beforehand decided and so stagnant and stale.
Now the new thing must be this free body movement that people are practicing.
Yeah, and just also like for CrossFitters to be mindful of, you know, do everything, you know, keep on, don't get stuck in the boxes that you wanted to escape to begin with.
Yeah, right, and then create a new box.
And that's like a constant. If you are not mindful of it, it happens. Like that's just our pattern as human beings, you know.
Exactly.
So I hope they keep on, you know, evolving and changing, and
they can hang out with
experimenting.
The Icelandic cacao girls. Let's not talk about that.
No, I don't know. I don't know a lot about that.
That's alright. Me neither. It's an interesting trend you have in Iceland. Let me just say it like that. It's like everyone is just into this cacao, drinking cacao.
Okay.
You have a whole mafia. I call them the Icelandic cacao mafia. It's like the whole group of girls who are all doing this cacao thing.
And do they run the community?
It's very sweet. It's sweet, and they have nice intentions.
Good.
It's a little bit, it's good.
But it's probably with them, like we were talking earlier about that. We always have these small rivalries and wars inside of our communities here in Iceland. Like, even if we're so small, there are always
there's always some nagging.
Always some beef going on, and that's probably people in general. At least it's what Icelandic people do.
Of course, in general, for everywhere in the world.
So
it's very difficult to shift the focus of being friends without having enemies. It's very difficult. Usually we become friends with people who have like the same enemies or the same kind of like resistant against people. I always try to just be friends with everyone. Just whatever, I don't care. If you're a good person, then it's fine.
Yeah.
If you just talk shit, then don't want to hang out with you.
Yeah. And when people talk shit, when we talk shit, it's like comes from inside us. It has nothing to do with the people we're talking shit about. They are just like an outlet for
exactly for whatever we don't want to look at. Exactly. You have a lot of work now on this.
I think we did 1 hour plus already.
Right. So. You can cut something together.
Yeah. No, I don't know how to cut. I'll just upload it.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Well,
Eva, he knows someone, I'm sure.
Yeah. Maybe someone wants to do something.
Do you think someone will sit and listen to us talk for 1.5 hours?
I have no idea.
We're about to find out. If
but
someone,
I just know
some
that
of the cacao girls, they'll write me. They'll be like, after 1 hour and 20 minutes, you said something about us.
Yeah. Shout
Sorry,
out,
girls, stop.
Shout out to all the cacao girls listening.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Most of the beautiful girls in Iceland drink cacao. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
In the hippie spiritual community, for sure.
Yeah. What is it? The cacao? Is it like do you is it a trippy thing? Like, do you go on a trip, or is it more just like drinking a cup of coffee? Or
I don't know. No comments.
No comments. No, I'll have to find out myself.
Yeah. I'm meeting one of them tonight. It's nice. It's sweet.
Yeah. We've done it like once or twice, but we were doing some like intense breathing exercises as
before.
well. So so I don't know if it was like the cacao or the breathing that made me lay down on the floor rolling around laughing.
Probably a good mix of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you do Wim Hof breathing?
No. Can't say I do. Like, I'm only familiar with the concept, you know. But as a practice, I don't.
No.
Which is like one of those things. You know, you're always trying to make room for new things.
Right.
But like we were talking about, it's always like you have to have your focus on the things that you want to do and say no to a lot of things. And it's a thing.
Come and breathe with me one day again.
Yeah. I'm always up for that.
I think we're gonna do one just for the fighters, for like the fight team. It's gonna be nice. Just some cool guys.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yarki, he's down now.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been meeting with him and you met his friend Lars also.
Yeah.
He told me. It's good.
They woke me up. They didn't wake me up. They'd broken. I normally practice at that time myself in the morning, and they were like, "Can we come at 7?" Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I see you wake up at like 6.
Yeah. But I normally wake up like 6:15, 5:15 in between that like time frame.
Is it something you always did, or is it something you like?
It came with the yoga practice and like just staying in the temples. You know, in the temple we had to wake up like 20 minutes before the sun. There's something very beautiful, you know, about it's like. You can say it's like the seasons, right? We follow, like you talked about, we follow the different seasons. And then you can say it's like the season of the day, right? In the morning it's like springtime, everything is opening up inside the body, everything is like opening.
Yeah.
And then midday is like summer, there's a lot of activity, you can do a lot of stuff like training wise, everything wise.
Everything is open and full of energy, yeah.
And then evening time it becomes like autumn, right? You start closing, and then winter time is night and you just sleep, you just shut off, you know.
Hibernation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you follow this routine, you see so much more happiness in your life.
Yeah.
Steady sleep patterns, steady wake up, like waking up and going to sleep.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And you can see it always on the skin, the eyes. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important to like follow the rhythm of the sun and the earth, you know.
Okay, I have an idea for this that we just did now.
Yeah.
We do it again with the live camera and we invite people to watch it live.
Yeah.
I
Let's
think
do it.
so.
Yeah. Let's do
I
it.
think it will have a lot of interest.
I think we can talk to Ivar maybe.
Yeah.
I think he was. He told me like yeah.
I think
I'll
it would
be
be
there.
more fun for people than to just listen to this.
Yeah.
If they're live with us, and then you have like we just
Yeah,
tell everyone.
let's do it, man.
He just called